Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hi everyone. Today our group will be presenting the topic of the regulatory framework for halal slaughtering. Next, these are the presenters for this group, which includes Aisyah binti Muhammad Sayuti, Neng Atira Malinda binti Joslan, Nuraini binti Morsidi, Nur Shafiza binti Hasrin, and also Wan Nur Akila binti Chebaka. In this presentation, we will discuss on the introduction for halal slaughtering, the history, the acts and also laws related to the halal slaughtering, regulatory bodies, the issues regarding to the issues of illegal cattle meat in Malaysia, and also the issue of the usage of mechanical stunning for halal slaughtering. And lastly is the conclusion. Okay, my name is Nuraini binti Morsidi and I will proceed the presentation with the introduction. The governance and regulatory framework is quite complex in the field of halal industry, which also due to the nature of the industry, while legal framework means consists of a set of documents that include the constitution, legislation, rules, and also contracts. In halal industry, it consists of several industries with different natures of businesses that bound by the act and different legal frameworks. Hence, this paper will discuss and also focus on the regulatory framework for halal slaughtering. It is very important and also necessary for the abattoirs, food producers, processors, food packaging companies, logistic providers, and also including all the other parties that involve in the production and distribution of halal products to comply with the regulatory requirements that have aligned by the competent authorities and agencies in Malaysia. There are many existing regulatory frameworks in Malaysia which can be related to the safety, quality, and also halal compliance on the practicing of halal slaughtering. The process of slaughtering animals in Islam must be conducted according to the procedures by the provisions of Islamic law in order to ensure that it can be consumed by the Muslim communities. The establishment of halal rules and also regulations are very important in order to ensure that the slaughtering process of any animal for food production will be carried out in a human manner and does not cause any suffering to the animal. Based on Malaysian protocol for the halal meat and poultry productions, halal slaughtering is a process of animal that involve restraining, stunning, and also severing of trachea, esophagus, and also both the carotid arteries and also jugular veins. Therefore, this paper will discuss in more detail and clearly regarding to the regulatory framework for halal slaughtering, which includes history on the existence of halal, discussion on some halal acts, related laws on the halal matters, and also the regulatory bodies that involve in halal management. Besides that, there are also several issues that have been highlighted in this paper regarding to the halal slaughtering, which are issues of the illegal of cattle meat in Malaysia and also the issue of mechanical stunning for halal slaughtering.
My name is Wan Nur Akila binti Chibakar and I will be presenting on history of halal slaughtering. So the term halal has been commonly used to determine the food or drinks labeled can be consumed by consumers. Also, the halal slaughtering term is used to describe a method that Muslims use to slaughter animals according to Islamic rulings. So this is the verse written in the Quran in Surah An-Nahl, verse 114 and 115, which Allah said that, so eat the lawful and good sustenance that Allah has given for you, and be grateful for Allah's favor. If it He is whom you serve, He has only prohibited you from eating that meat, blood, flesh, swine, and any food whose name has been recited other than Allah's. But if one is pushed by circumstances without purposeful or disobedience, or beyond permissible bounds, Allah is gracious and forgiving. Okay, so from this verse, we know that Muslims are able to consume any kind of zabihah animals except those prohibited, such as pigs and dogs. So traditionally, people, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, only use a knife to slaughter animals before they consume. However, in the 20th century, the emerging usage of modern technology in slaughtering among Western countries and Islamic countries such as Saudi Arabia as methods that are able to preserve animal welfare. So it can be seen there are modern technology that used to slaughter the animal, not only use knife but also in other technology. However, there is unanimous debate regarding the permissibility of this use, as it may have killed animals before being slaughtered. However, the Malaysian National Fatwa Council on November 24, 1988, pertaining to the stunning animals prior to slaughter is permissible according to guidelines related. These are the stunning methods used in Malaysia. The first one is the electrical stunning. then mechanical standing, and the third is water bath standing. So for the sequel of regulatory framework for halal slaughtering, it begins on the Trade Description Act 2011, which is an act that acts as a subsidiary legislation that provides food or commodities are described as halal, or in other phrase that indicates food or other goods that can be consumed or used by Muslims. Okay, the term halal is widely used because they want to focus on preserving halal matter, whether it associates with food or trading practice, to protect the consumers from improper business practice. Okay, on the Article 4 of the Trade Description Order 2011, certification and marking of halal, they appointed JAKIM and Majlis Agama Islam Negeri as the component authority to certify that any food, goods, or services related are halal, aligned with the Trade Descriptions Order definition of halal. And then they appoint few government agencies to collaborate together to regulate different areas of halal fields in Malaysia. Okay, the agencies involved are Department of Veterinary Services, the Ministry of Health, the Department of Standard Malaysia, MITI, and SIRIM. So they are five government agencies together. So to curb issues arise related to the halal slaughtering, whether it relates to before the slaughtering session or the post-slaughtering session, the committee, which is the agencies involved, has constructed a Malaysian protocol for halal meat and poultry production as a regulatory framework led by JAKIM and MAIN in each state. Okay, there are also acts and standards related to the framework that uses together to strengthen the framework guidelines, which are: the first is Animal Act 1953 that is used by the Department of Veterinary Service, and Malaysian Standard MS 1500 2009.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Lisha Bizam Jasrin and I will continue the presentation with the egg and law related to halal slaughtering. Prior to the establishment of halal logo, Muslims had to rely on their own judgment and confidence to consume food produced or prepared by non-Muslim. Other related law, such as the Food Act 1983 and the Trade Description Act 1976, help to serve judgment. Under the Section 11 of the Food Act 1983, food producers are required to label all the food ingredients, including alcohol, pork, and other related stuff. Then the Trade Description Act 1976 also protect the use of the labeling term in the food service. The law was improved in 1997 with the Trade Description Law 1997, which made the halal logo a trademark that JAKIM protect. Food companies are also prohibited from using any confusing labeling description in food product under the Consumer Protection Act of 1999. The Malaysian Standard 1500-2009 was introduced after that. The standard includes a detailed description of Sharia-compliant method for slaughtering animals. This standard also contains animal stunning and method of purifying najis. Halal slaughtering is governed by a number of acts and law, and I will discuss next in the presentation. The Trade Description Act of 2011 is a law made specifically for halal products. This act's main goal is to encourage good trade practices by prohibiting false trade description and representation and controlling false or misleading practices related to the supply of goods and services. The Trade Description Certification of Marking of Halal 2011, the Trade Description Definition of Halal 2011, and the Trade Description Certification Fee and Marking of Halal 2011 were formed under the Section 28 and 29 of the Trade Description Act 2011. The Section 29 of the Trade Description Act 2011 also provides for establishment or institutional structure to manage and control the affair related to the halal certification. The Department of Veterinary Services, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs, all of which are led by JAKIM, and the State Department of Religious Affairs are all responsible for enforcing the Trade Description Act. The next regulation is Food Hygiene Regulation of 2009, which covers all aspects of food hygiene, including food premise, use in preparation, preservation, packaging, storage, shipment, distribution, or sale of food. This rule also applies to discussion on the concept of halal and thayyiban when it comes to the matter of hygiene and health, including abattoir and food preparation and processing facilities. The Feed Act of 2009, on the other hand, makes it mandatory requirement for all animal feed industry to ensure the safe production and use of animal feed, as well as the safe consumption of animal and animal product as human food. And halal animal feed is essential as it is mentioned in the Malaysian standard, which lists it as one of the 7 basic requirements in the preparation of halal food. Everything fed to poultry, cattle, and sheep must be halal, and no animal hormone, such as pork enzyme, should be used in the feed meal, even if the sole purpose is to accelerate animal growth. The feed meal ingredient must not contain any genetically modified organism derived from non-halal animal, because the animal is slaughtered and consumed by consumer. It is important to ensure that only halal product enter the animal body. Then the term halal animal feed refer to the animal that we feed only nutritional and halal food. The Abattoir Privatization Act of 1993 is an act that facilitates and privatization of abattoir and deal with the related issue. Abattoir is a building for the slaughter of animal for human consumption, accredited as halal by JAKIM. Each facility has to follow a strict set of procedure from production, preparation, handling, and storage according to the general guideline. The Ministry of Health and Department of Veterinary Services of the Ministry of Agriculture and Agro-based Industry were given authority over farming and animal disease control under the Animal Act of 1953 and Abattoir Act 1993, especially for the halal certificate application process for meat import. A slaughterhouse outside Malaysia must have acquired recognition for imported beef, and Ministry of Health responsibility is to confirm the safety of slaughterhouses that have requested for halal certification recognized outside of Malaysia. Another halal law is Animal Act of 1962, which governs the slaughter of animal. It gives the veterinary department the authority to issue a slaughtering certificate or license to abattoir or individual in order to ensure that the animal to be slaughtered is healthy and disease-free. Aside from that, JAKIM issued a general guideline on slaughtering of animal and the preparation and handling of halal food for the slaughtering of animal, as well as the preparation and storage of the halal food, which must be followed by all establishments involved in halal food processing. It should be utilized in conjunction with the existing guideline on good manufacturing practices and hygienic sanitary requirements by all foreign institutions wanting to export the product to Malaysia. The Lembaga Kemajuan Perusahaan Haiwan Negara Control of Slaughter Rule 1975 was enacted to regulate animal slaughter at approved abattoir and to permit slaughter at the abattoir area. Section 8 of the Act stated that the cattle slaughtered outside of the approved abattoir to be disposed for human consumption unless accompanied by a warranty that the animal is free from disease and safe to eat. In conclusion, law and regulation are essential to ensure that the halal food producers meet their moral obligation to consumer and to facilitate halal food trade on both local and global scale. All Muslim and non-Muslim food manufacturers will be guided by the Act. In order to produce halal meat as required by the Sharia, it is also necessary to follow all relevant acts and law relating to the halal slaughtering.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Aisyah binti Muhammad Sayuti, and now I will continue with the regulatory bodies that are associated with halal slaughtering. So one of the regulatory bodies in halal slaughtering is Department of Islamic Development Malaysia, which also known as JAKIM. It plays a crucial role in the halal management as it is the main controlling body in the administration and issuance of halal certification, as well as making policies for it, which will be decided by the cabinet. This agency also issues the logo for halal certification and approves the product that has strictly met with the halal requirements in compliance with the Sharia laws. JAKIM also has established its own halal manual procedure, and in terms of halal slaughtering, it can be referred as Malaysian Protocol for the Halal Meat and Poultry Production 2011. It is a clear reference and guidance which involve the procedure of halal slaughtering and halal requirement for the slaughterhouse. Besides that, JAKIM also responsible in regular inspection along with the Department of Veterinary Services to ensure the process of slaughtering in the slaughterhouse comply with the Sharia law. The inspection also will be conducted meticulously, which involve the slaughterer, equipment use, slaughtering methods, slaughtering ethics, and the environment cleanliness. So the second regulatory body is the Department of Veterinary Services,
It is a federal government agency under the Ministry of Agriculture, which is known as the core regulatory body pertaining to the poultry and livestock industry. It also has several functions, which is firstly to ensure the control and prevention of animal and zoonotic diseases, to control the livestock production and animal feed, inspection of eggs, milk, meat, slaughterhouse, and veterinary products in processing plant, and to control the import and export of livestock and services of quarantine. However, the halal aspects control in the slaughtering, processing, and poultry farming is not under the authority of the DVS, since it only focusing on the ensuring the safety of the animal production. Besides that, DVS also has established a manual for small and medium scale for poultry abattoirs with the collaboration of other agency, which can be referred as Manual Pengurusan Premis Penyembelihan dan Pemprosesan Ayam Berskala Kecil dan Sederhana. So the third regulatory body is the Ministry of Health. It is one of the government agencies that work together with the JAKIM's halal certification affairs in local and overseas level. This government agency is responsible in confirming the safety in terms of food products, supplements, and medication. Even though this agency does not control the halal aspects, but it is responsible in managing the cleanliness, quality, and health of the food, which is the TOIB concept. Hence, in terms of halal slaughtering, this agency will accompany JAKIM or Ma'in during the inspection to oversee on the cleanliness of the slaughterhouse and the animal condition to confirm that it is free from any diseases. Next, Ministry of Domestic Trades and Consumer Affairs is also one of the related regulatory body in the halal slaughtering, where it is responsible in monitoring and enforcement strategies to ensure the halal integrity is preserved within the Malaysian halal certification scope. This is because this agency has the authority under the Trade Description Act 2011 to enforce the law towards any offences regarding to the non-compliance of halal laws. Therefore, this agency encouraged the public to file a report regarding misleading or false certification of halal and its logo usage for further action to be taken by them. Thus, if there is any misconduct in the slaughterhouse, such as usage of false halal certificate, KPDN HCP has the power to take action under the Trade Description Act 2011. And lastly is Ministry of Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry. It is also one of the regulatory body in halal slaughtering, where it is responsible in regulating the industry of livestock and agriculture. Its involvement in the meat and poultry industry is on the beginning stage, which is at the farm, where this agency will direct the requirement as well as the procedure for the condition and health of the animal. Thus, this agency is responsible in ensuring that the animal that will be slaughtered by a slaughterhouse is in a healthy condition.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Neng Atira Malinda binti Jaslan, and I will explain about the issue related with syndicate of cartel meat. At the end of 2020, Malaysia was shocked by the news of the arrest of 1,500 tons of illegal meat cattle smuggling syndicate from 4 foreign countries, namely China, Ukraine, Brazil, and Argentina. The meat cattle syndicate has been exposed, and this criminal case has opened the eye of various parties, and it is believed to have been established in Malaysia for many years ago. This criminal syndicate covers a wide range of issues, including the safety of imported meat, supply chain integrity, illegal slaughterhouse, and non-halal meat processing. According to media reports, the cartel used proxy company to expedite the criminal activities. They used Malay and Islamic-sounding names for the companies to lend an air of legitimacy to their operation and in ensuring a Muslim consumer that the product is halal. A warehouse based in Senai, Johor, is used as a location for making fake halal labels and stamps to be stamped on meat box. The supply of imported meat is stored in a special storage place before repackaging the meat. Illegal meat that has counterfeit halal label is then distributed into the domestic market. Not only that, meat believed to be halal beef is also exchanged for low quality meat and diseased beef. This indirectly endangers the health of consumer in the long run. In addition to beef whose method of slaughter is questionable, horse meat, buffalo, and kangaroo are also brought in. As we know, the act is unacceptable in human circumstances. Even in Islam, cheating in sale is very wrong and hate by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala because it has damaged the right of others. Exchanging the original product to the other, which are not the same as the customer's expectation, is wrong and the sale is considered as invalid. As in these cases, the supplier who produced the product was fully responsible for the offences committed and has to receive very severe punishment for having violated the halal status and caused doubt to exist by Muslim. However, until now, the identity of the offender has not been disseminated to the public.
The next issue that will be discussed regarding to the halal slaughtering is the usage of mechanical stunning, where it is the most common practice that have been found and used in a majority of the larger abattoirs. Stunning is a slaughtering method that can be categorized as a major serious challenges in facing the halal meat industry. Stunning can be defined as the process of rendering animals immobile or unconscious without killing the animal before slaughtering process. The objective of stunning is to prevent anxiety, any painful suffering and distress of the animals before and during the process of slaughtering. Stunning is also a method that is used to facilitate the slaughtering process by stunning the animals first before it being slaughtered. For example, various mechanical stunning are the captive bolt pistol or stunning gun, water bath stunning, and also the gas stunning. However, there are also some doubts regarding to its halal when practicing these methods in halal slaughtering. Based on Islamic law, stunning has not been mentioned directly in the Al-Quran or Hadith, but there is a debate occurs among the Muslim scholars regarding to this issue in which this type of slaughtering process does not fulfill the important requisite for halal slaughtering. Although the stunning method have not been mentioned directly in the Al-Quran nor in the Hadith, it still raises concerns about the fulfillment of the halal practices which have been stated in the primary sources of Islam and also including the halal guidelines that has aligned by the halal authorities. The Department of Islamic Development Malaysia, JAKIM, have stated that the stunning procedure can be accepted as long as the slaughtering process must be controlled and used by a trained Muslim or slaughterman, and Islamic authority must implement the enforcement in order to monitor regularly on procedure in practicing the mechanical stunning. The stunning method is also not recommended for slaughtering, but if it is to be carried out, there are several conditions that must be met in order to ensure it is accordance with the halal slaughtering requirements. The conditions are including the stunning equipment must be used by the supervision of a trained Muslim or the slaughterman. Besides that, it is also very important and also necessary for the competent Islamic authority or halal certification authority to monitor periodically to ensure the use of mechanical stunning is aligned with the halal slaughtering guideline that have provided by the halal authorities. Based on the manual procedure for Malaysia Halal certification, every Malaysia Halal certificate holders, which including the slaughterhouse, must be subjected to the monitoring and also enforcement by the competent halal authority. The inspection for monitoring and enforcement are bound by the related laws that have been enforced and also used in the country, such as Trade Description Act 2011, Manual Procedure for Malaysia Halal Certification, Animal Act 1953, Animal Ordinance 1953, Animal Rules 1962, Abattoir Act Corporatization 1993, and also others related laws and also regulation. This means that halal authorities are responsible in conducting the inspection for monitoring and enforcement for the slaughterhouse that practicing the mechanical stunning for slaughtering. Besides that, there are also common problems that have been faced by the authorities in carrying out the enforcement on the halal compliance among the poultry slaughtering process. Therefore, the issue of the usage of mechanical stunning have arisen due to many incidents that have been reported as a serious offense in the poultry slaughterhouses, where it also can affect the result in non-halal status of chicken usually occur during the slaughtering process. There are several firms or slaughterhouses that practice electrical stunning found did not use the correct voltage, and therefore it has caused some chickens die before the slaughtering stage. According to the Sharia requirements of slaughtering, a chicken must be in a live condition and slaughtered according to the rules of halal slaughtering, which one must allow most of the blood to drain from the chicken's body in order to ensure that they will die naturally due to the blood draining. Therefore, every halal slaughterhouse needs to refer to the Malaysian Protocol for the Halal Meat and Poultry Productions, which it prescribes clear practical guidelines for abattoir and poultry processing plant on the stunning method and slaughtering process. This guideline can help towards the proper use of mechanical stunning among the slaughterer and does not cause the slaughter animal feels pain, suffering, and stress due to the use of the stunning tool in the wrong way. In that case, every local government plays an important role in order to support the implementation promotion of halal practices in poultry slaughtering premises through the legal authority in giving permit or license for the businesses to operate.
As we know, apart from Muslim, those of different religion also prefer the practice applied in the teaching of Islam. Various halal slaughtering related acts and law have been discussed, since the slaughtering scheme is one of the most favored among various halal schemes. Also, several relevant regulatory bodies have also been discussed in this assignment, such JAKIM, which holds and has a fully authority over the halal certification in slaughterhouse. To recapitulate, halal slaughtering is a highly effective and safe procedure, especially for Muslims, due to the existence of act and regulatory body that further convince the safety and hygiene of the meat to be acquired. Matters relevant to halal slaughtering are extremely rare, and the occurrence of multiple previous incidents has awakened the awareness of authorities to be more attentive and offer more protection to the community by not allowing such things to happen again, since it might erode customers' confidence. Muslims should avoid the matter a second attempt, since halal-related concerns are extremely sensitive in our community. Thank you.